The latest State of Safety report has been released, enumerating a serious list of issues facing South Africa's rail network, all of which impact commuters directly. Theft and vandalism making up the bulk of security-related incidents, with the majority being the theft of assets. It shows the passenger rail network's production declining by a staggering 74%, mostly due, it says, to disruptions and vandalism. It contains a profound statement, or at least the presentation of that release, and it goes as follows. Our railways are the veins that connect our nation. We cannot allow them to wither away. Mmuso Selaledi, the Railway Safety Regulator Acting CEO, joins us now. Good evening to you, Mmuso, and welcome to the program. I added that quote from the end of the statement that was delivered at the presentation of the results. And if you think, just 10 years ago, just over 49 million passenger journeys were recorded. By June this year, 3.2 million. That personifies the scale of the deterioration enumerated in the report. It does seem to be improving, but sporadically and slowly. What do you think is the main message to all, especially those who need the service to go to work and go to other places more efficiently and cheaply?
Good evening, Iman, and good evening to your viewers. You are in fact correct. You have correctly articulated the statistics as you understand them. So the main message from the Railway Safety Regulator, we are an entity of the National Department of Transport. We are mandated to oversee safe railway operations within the country, while operators remain primarily responsible. So we've released our annual State of Safety report in line with the requirements of our Act, which require us to report annually on the safety of persons, the community, and the environment, which is what we've done. What that report tells us, we are encouraged, although we are not proud of the state of railways in South Africa. We are not proud, correctly, as you say. When you compare passenger trips, if you do a long-term trend of 10 years, essentially, we have reached our lowest point. We do have a green shoot in the midst, which is the Gautrain, which is the Bombela operating company under the leadership of the Gautrain Management Agency. They've in fact started to claw back their ridership levels, but they are still not close to where they were pre-pandemic levels. The Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa, PRASA, you correctly indicate, year on year, it's a 76% drop in ridership levels. Over a longer term trend, it is even more discouraging. And if you compare pre-pandemic levels, PRASA used to move plus 500 passengers a train towards the region of 800 or so. In the last financial year, that dropped below the 20 mark number of passengers per train. So that talks to the drop in the availability of the service, the drop in the number of trains that are running. But our report tries to contextualize the state of safety within that context of a lower productivity of operators.
So well, then what can be said then in mitigation of the numbers, particularly when it comes to both the infrastructure safety, because we'll talk about collisions and derailments in a moment, but also actual commuter safety?
So our report has two parts. We have about 10,400 occurrences, as you've correctly said. 1,800 are what we call operational occurrences. Those are what happens in the normal business of moving trains. Then you have about 8,600, which are security related. On the operational side, that's why we talk of green shoots. Year on year, the operational occurrences have decreased from 2,100 to around 1,800. That's an 11% improvement in train safety related occurrences. However, you must counterpose that with a 15% drop in productivity of our major operators. On the security side is where the problem that we have, we've actually gone up, and that is a combination of what we call theft and vandalism, and they make up the bulk of the security related incidents that we report on.
So I know the report was, it was meant to give, I don't want to use the word forensic, but almost, an account or a true unvarnished picture of what rail operations are looking like in, in the public sector in South Africa. Given the scale of the problems, and there are many, we don't have enough time to go through all of them. Operator productivity, the report says, is under siege. You've got collisions and derailments which are still happening. And what the report says is we need enhanced safety measures. We need infrastructure improvements. What then are some of the real and executable ideas that are on the table to and you know, we use the word turnaround so much because we use it earlier in a conversation around Transnet, but to really turn this around?
So on the operational side, we are happy that operators understand our safety regime. As you can see, we have 11% improvement year on year, counterposed with a decrease in productivity. So we are holding the fort on the operational side. We hope that as operators start to improve their productivity, especially PRASA, as they are opening new corridors month on month, they will maintain their safety profile. The real issues around the security-related occurrences. PRASA, viewers may not know, has opened a Mabopane corridor. They have not experienced the level of theft and vandalism on that corridor over the last year since they've opened it, but it has come at an enormous security cost, deployment of personnel, drones, security technology. It is an unsustainable cost. Transnet have done some innovations. They've done, on their lines, they've gone through some performance-based security contracts where they almost pay their security infrastructure providers by prevention. But that, once again, is the operators doing their part. What we need, crime is a societal problem. We need law enforcement to come to the party. We need the intelligence agencies. We need municipalities in the rail reserve to prioritize the rail reserve and the protection thereof. And as a society, we need to consider how we protect trains, the train infrastructure. These are expensive assets, and we need to prevent theft and vandalism.
Mmuso,
that is the message.
You know, I'm warned that I'm out of time in literally a second. Are you having those conversations with all those stakeholders that you just mentioned to have one cohesive approach?
Yes, so at the briefing this morning, the Deputy Minister did rightly indicate that at the political level, there's the JPS cluster, it's a security cluster, where you have the police, law enforcement, intelligence, and you have the major state-owned entities, and they are working to resolve this problem. As a regulator, we are on the non-ferrous metals committee, which talks about the ban on scrap metals. So we are coordinating, but we need a stronger effort with the innovative work that your bigger operators are doing to fight this sheer assault on the rail network.